Hey everybody, it's your gay sports fanatic here. And in this installment, we're going to look at college football week 11. Can't believe we're 11 weeks in. Goes so fast. But what about last weekend, huh, you guys? What a crazy weekend. So, expect that all the way out now, just here in November. Just craziness every Saturday. So, this top 12 that the College Football Committee will be putting out on Tuesday, that's going to change. I'm going to give you my top 12 shortly, and I don't think it's going to jive with the committee's top 12. My top 12 is entirely based mostly on who have you played. Obviously, wins and losses, but who have you played? If you played a bunch of nobodies, that doesn't score a lot with me. So, I'm going to give you my top 12. Then after that, we'll jump into 7 key predictions for this week. Got some big games again. They're all going to be big here in November. November is do or die. I mean, win or go home. So let's jump in with our top 12. I'm going to go with pretty much the consensus pick here. I think it's the right one. Number 1 is the Oregon Ducks. Started off slow, have just played fantastic the last 5 weeks. Number 2, I'm staying with Georgia. I know they've had some tight games, but they play an incredibly tough schedule. I put Georgia up there at a solid number 2. Number 3, got to go with Ohio State. Also played some tough games. That win last weekend at Penn State was huge. Can't overstate that. So Ohio State is 3rd. Number 4, a team that didn't play last week, has 1 loss, and that is Texas. Put them in at number 4. They're still sitting good in the SEC. I like their schedule on the way out here to close out the season. So Texas is has a great chance to make the college football playoff, in my opinion. Texas is 4. Number 5, Penn State, didn't drop them too far. I mean, that was a heartbreaking loss to Ohio State. Penn State, to me, solid number 5. Number 6, Notre Dame. And I've been talking about the Irish and their comeback ever since that Northern Illinois game. They have played terrific ever since. I don't look for Notre Dame to lose another game. Give me the Irish at 6. Number 7, Tennessee, a 1-loss SEC team. I know Tennessee won by 10 last Saturday. Hey, in the SEC, I don't care who you're playing. Just get the W and move on. Tennessee's a solid team. Put them at 7. Number 8, Indiana, and this is the first of teams that I'm going to talk about that I don't think has really played a tough schedule yet. However, in Indiana's case, they've pretty much beaten everybody. They've played pretty solidly. So you got to give Indiana that. We're going to know a lot more about Indiana, as I mentioned, in 2 weeks when they play Ohio State. That's going to really tell me the story of Indiana. But they're undefeated. I'm going to give them 8. Number 9, same, Miami. I don't believe they've really played much of a schedule, but they are undefeated. So let's put Miami at 9th. I wouldn't put them any higher. Number 10, Alabama, a team that has played a tough schedule and has 2 losses. Alabama, and I'm going to really get into them a little later in predictions, but everything's on the line for them this weekend. So we'll know more about them, but right now let's put them at 10. Number 11, again, BYU, undefeated, hasn't played anybody. So I'm going to let them sit there at 11. Know a little more about them after this weekend too. Number 12, I'm hanging with Texas A&M despite that loss at South Carolina on Saturday night. What an obvious trap game that was, but I still like Texas A&M as a 12th team. So that's my top 12. It's certainly not going to be the same as the College Football Committee, and that's fine with me. Now, for the rest of the year, I'll be giving my top 12 as we go through here in November. So let's go to key predictions. We've got some great games here in week 11. So I'm going to start off with our number 2, in my book, number 2, Georgia Bulldogs at Ole Miss. This is a huge game. Ole Miss is an offensive powerhouse, and they're at home. And Georgia is giving away 2.5. So Ole Miss is a 2-point underdog at home with that offense. Despite having said that, give me Georgia and give away the points here. I like Georgia. They're used to playing these tough games. They pull them out. And boy, does Georgia play the schedule. Next up, how about this? How about Michigan? Didn't look all that bad against Oregon. At Indiana, our undefeated Indiana, who I have in 8th in the top 12. So Michigan is a 13.5-point underdog on the road at Indiana. I like Michigan here. I would take Michigan in the 13.5. Now, I think Indiana will probably win the game, but I think it's going to be much closer than that. And I give a slight outside shot to Michigan pulling a real big upset here. As I said, I'm not totally on the Indiana bandwagon here, but so anyway, Michigan plus 13.5. Next, this game is so big for these two teams out of the SEC. It's Alabama going in to LSU. What a tough road game this is for Alabama. Like I said, you guys, they're used to them. The loser of this game is out. So Alabama, LSU each have 2 losses. Either the loser exits the college football playoff consideration. The winner, though, sets them up pretty good. So it's Alabama, who is a 2.5-point favorite at LSU. The spread surprised me a little bit. But even in spite of that spread, in spite of it, I want the Tide. I want Alabama. I'm going to give away the 2.5. This is a tough call, you guys. I'm not going to lie to you. That's a tough call. Next, we have Oklahoma at Missouri. Missouri is a 2-point favorite in this. Oklahoma's a 2-point underdog. This is at Missouri. I actually think Missouri will win this, maybe comfortably. So Missouri is only giving away 2. So I like Missouri at home. Give away the 2 to Oklahoma. Next up, we have undefeated BYU, a team that I just think is a bit of a mystery to me. BYU is at Utah, a team that really I thought would be better than they've been this year. But having given that, it's at Utah. BYU is a 4.5-point favorite. I like Utah plus the 4.5, and I like Utah to win. This is my upset alert special here. I like Utah to win this game against BYU and rock these ratings even more. So BYU, take Utah, take the 4.5. Next, last but not least, is Florida, playing a little better lately. Florida at Texas, who's coming off their bye week. Florida's getting 21.5 points. That's a lot of points, especially when you look at how Florida did against Georgia last Saturday. Having said that, still, I want Texas as they roll through the latter stretch of this schedule. I like Texas give away the 21.5, and I like Texas to cover this spread. So, you guys, that is week 11. We're starting to get into the really good stuff now. And so, please hit like, please comment, and if you want to get my feed and all my videos that I do usually 2 a week, please feel free to subscribe. You guys have a great Saturday watching these great games, and we shall see you. Thanks a lot.